coffee is increasingly making me burp.
Let's talk about things.
Talking about things begins now. Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais has a new series.
Afterlife.
Right, which I've not seen. I've not seen it. Sam has seen it.
Well, I've seen the first episode.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. It's not too bad, you know. There's it's weird. There's another series on Netflix called Sex Education. I don't think. Have you seen that?
I've not actually. Everyone was talking about it, and I was going to watch it, and then I didn't, and then that was that.
I didn't realise how much nudity there would be in it.
What, in a show called Sex Education?
Yeah, but it's sort of like a kids show borderline, you know.
Oh, it is set in a school, isn't it?
It's, you know, I thought, well,
that's more us getting old, isn't it? You forget.
The first scene, you're like, ooh.
Skin.
But I don't know if it was because maybe it was filmed last summer or what. But it's incredibly sunny. It's like it is set in an English town, and it is English. They're all English, and it's really, really sunny, unrealistically so. And there was a bit. It was a bit like that on Afterlife. I don't know if that's sort of Netflix saying, yeah, you can make.
You can have it in Britain, but it can't be grey.
It's got to be. It's got to be nice that people, you know,
all those old films from the 80s set in Britain.
I mean, it does look quite idyllic, I have to admit, but not very realistic. But yeah, it's quite bright and sunny, but he's incredibly miserable. It's actually quite a sad setup.
That's probably the idea. I bet they've gone for sunny then, haven't they? That's the part of the story.
Yeah. What is it? So his wife has died, and he's struggling to cope with that. He wanted to kill himself, but the dog stopped him doing it because the dog wanted feeding, and he's become incredibly misanthropic. Is that the way to say that? He's a misanthrope, basically, and it's sort of like, well, I presume the story is going to be how he overcomes that, or whatever, really. So there's a dark side to it, but there is comedy. There are some really.
It is a comedy. Is it a drama or is it a comedy? Comedy drama or just comedy?
I would say you would say it's comedy with elements of drama.
So it is a sitcom in a modern sense.
Yeah. It's not like. It's definitely different from The Office and Extras. Extras had a format to it which The Office didn't have.
Yeah.
But it's not cringe comedy like The Office and Extras.
Yeah.
So it's something new, although some very familiar characters.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all right.
Are they all in it? Ones
Carl's not in it.
Oh, Carl.
Stephen's not in it, but Maggie's in it from Extras. I didn't ever really get into Derek. I watched a few episodes.
I think I watched 2.
So the main woman in Derek is in it. That's his wife who's died. I think the photographer might have been in Derek as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, there's some familiar faces in there.
Good.
Are you gonna watch it?
Yes. That's it, really. Yeah.
I think it's quite important to say when something good is on Netflix, because there's tons and tons of absolute banal crap.
Oh, it's impossible to trust. There's no. That's the problem. I mean, there is a lot. They make a lot of TV. So how do you navigate it? And the interface is terrible. What it presents you with isn't the whole story of the what's on there. You know what I mean? It predicts what you want, and then you just keep getting the same stuff. So I'm stuck on the sort of sci-fi, bland American sci-fi kind of. I mean, Altered Carbon, that's very good. But we've watched. I can't remember the names of any of them. But there's one where there's a meteor coming to the Earth. It's still coming. It's going to land any minute. Oh, it's coming. It's season 4. Meteor is. So there's no. It's just, all the baddies and the goodies, and they found the thing, and there's something, and then there's the one that's slightly worse, which is the time travel one, when the baddies steal a time machine, but are they the baddies or not? I don't know, and that's kind of epic meh. And there's another one as well, and they're all the same, and just get recommended those. So I thought at one point that's what Netflix were making, but it's not. That's what I get on my Netflix because I watched one of them. Yeah.
I watched, there was something come out a couple of weeks ago. It was like a film, and it had the guy from Ray Romano. Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah. That was pretty good, actually. Again, incredibly depressing.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, the guy he plays the part really, really well. And
You're not talking about Everybody Loves Raymond.
No. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Paddleball or something like that.
Right.
And it's about, again, depressing again. His mate's got terminal cancer, and he wants to end it, basically. So they go on a small road trip to pick up the medication for it, because there are parts of America where it's legal.
Yes.
So he goes to buy it. It's straight. Yeah, the characters are quite interesting and quite funny. Like Ray Romano plays this guy a bit like Jack Nicholson, when you like Schmidt.
Oh, that kind of thing. Right. Yeah.
He's sort of a little bit.
I really like that film.
He's quite conservative and uncomfortable with it all.
Right. So a lot of it is the very sort of subtle acting of his uncomfortableness with what's happening.
Yeah. Very. That was good. I seem to get suggested very depressing films. What was the other one? I can't remember what it's called now, but it would have had Michael Caine and what's his name? The Wolf. Who played the Wolf in Pulp Fiction?
The Wolf.
You send in the Wolf? Shit, nigga, that's all you had to say.
Who's the Wolf in Pulp Fiction? Remind me of the character.
He's the fixer. He comes out, they've blown. You shot Vincent in the face. Blood all over the car. They come into Samuel L. Jackson's mate's house. Yeah. And they've got this car. His wife's about to come home, and they're in deep trouble. So Marcellus Wallace sends the Wolf to go and sort it out.
Oh, yeah. It's a long time since it's in Pulp Fiction.
Really famous actor. He's in loads of films. What's his name? Come on, Kev.
I'm struggling.
Harvey Keitel.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel and Michael Caine. And they're in this big posh retirement home. Michael Caine is like an ex-composer, or a composer. He composed these simple songs. Harvey Keitel was a movie maker, and there's like all these famous people come and stop.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a story unravelled there. Again, really good film, but quite touching at the end, but quite depressing.
Yeah, they've got
they've got the measure of me. I like depressing films,
dark comedy
with an edge of comedy.
That's interesting, isn't it? I think that's a trend. That's the thing. I think it's an easy route to emotion, isn't it?
Yeah,
having comedy and darkness,
tragedy and comedy.
Yeah,
tragicomedy. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's happening, which is good, it's like the prog problem, or the problem with computer games, in that it's great in that things are expanding and becoming more sophisticated, and basically TV is turning into books. A TV show now is much more like a book with round characters that develop, and I loved House on Haunted Hill, Haunting of Hill House, was brilliant. That would have never happened 15 years ago, I don't think. It would have been a movie, and it would have been a horror film, and it would have been kind of...
What's the thing with BBC? They do these series that last 3 episodes. You get like 3 1-hour episodes, and you're like...
Yeah,
what the hell's going on there? You get like American series and Netflix series and that, and they're 13 shows an hour long, and there's a massive story arc in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For some reason, we can't do that.
There's the people at the very top of the BBC are very strange. They're not the people who are making the TV shows in the BBC. So the people who make the TV shows in the BBC are the awesome people, but there's some very strange people at the top, limiting them, making them do weird things, and all the rest of it. Strange. I don't really know. I don't really understand what's going on there.
No,
it's a shame. BBC's not the best in the world anymore, and it was at one time 30 years ago. Best in the world TV. Definitely not now. Never mind.
There we go. Oh, so we've talked about telly. It's not a subject I'm very comfortable with, really.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch... I'm actually actively hostile to the telly. Really? Sarah puts it on and I'm like... I hate it. I just think it's such a waste of time. A waste of your life.
Well, it is. But then... all entertainment is like that, isn't it? So if it's got a bit of bite, a bit of traction, There's a bit of emotionally. There's something happening. It's like reading a book.
Yeah.
It's much more worth it than watching Terry and June.
I'd rather watch Terry and June.
At
least that's escapism. I think it comes out. We've talked about this before about Coronation Street and EastEnders.
Oh yeah.
And that sort of thing is
replacing the traditional neighbourhood.
Yeah, but you're getting that sense of tension right across the programmes. And so we watched Luther. I mean, what's that other one that's coming on soon? The police one, Internal Affairs. I can't remember now. Anyway,
I can't be bothered with it.
It's coming back. But it's like incredibly, you're like this all the time while you're watching it.
yeah. Sort of faux tension.
Yeah, and it's sort of like,
oh my god, is he going? Oh no, oh no, but now
people need a break, you know. They got stresses and strains of work, of growing, you know, raising kids. Just everyday life is becoming more and more difficult at the moment. And then you put the TV on, and you're like,
well, it's one type of good writing, having realistic characters and really grim situations and all that. It's one type of writing, isn't it? I mean, Blackadder is obviously fantastic and everything, and it's not realistic at all. It's not even historically accurate. That's wonderful. It takes a lot to write something that good, though.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the Detectorists, you know. That is there needs to be more TV like that. It's funny, it's charming, it makes you feel good about life. Great characters, great story, you know. Why can't we have more shows like that?
Yeah, but that was BBC.
Yeah, that was BBC.
Netflix,
yeah,
but it was. I didn't know it was actually BBC. And I think Mackenzie Crooker said he's not doing anymore.
I know. He seems to. It said it was hard work again. These incredibly short TV series.
Well, it's like you said, to make it that good is really hard work.
Yeah.
John Cleese has always said, the reason Fawlty Towers is so much better than most sitcoms is because it took him so long to write. And that's not quite accurate, because obviously everyone's first sitcom takes a long time to write. It's just that they worked really hard on it. That's what it is. And The Office.
I think it was Austin Powers too. Took him 2 weeks to write it or something like that. And it is the best one.
It's funny. When anyone mentions him coming back and doing another one, I do look back and I think, is it of its time? I watched. You know, it's just so silly.
I think we watched number one. Number one was on the telly or something like that, and I watched a bit of it. It's not mine, and it is quite of its time.
It's very easy humour, isn't it? Yeah. Incredibly easy humour, yeah. And Wayne's World is part of all the same thing.
Yeah.
But I certainly like the sequels. I like both the sequels. I know some people didn't like the third one, some people didn't like the second one. But
I can't remember. I never really that didn't hit with me for some reason. I probably need to watch it a couple more times.
But what happened at the end was he put in some ridiculous plot changes that meant that it was kind of broken. And I thought that was a deliberate ending, where it turns out that they're brothers, Dr. Evil and Austin Powers, and you know. So surely that meant that's the end now.
Yeah.
And they put Scott Evil as the new Dr. Evil.
Evil, but not quite evil enough.
But I do quote it all the time. You know, Moon Unit Alpha and Moon Unit Zappa. Oh yeah, Alan Parsons projects.
Anyway.
Right.
Should we do some stuff?
Wow.